Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that a lot of you have been asking about: cod liver oil and eye health.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of our listeners are really interested in this one.
For sure. And I was excited to see all the stuff you sent over for us to dig into.
Yeah, there's a lot here.
Seriously. We've got articles about cod liver oil in general, research papers focusing specifically on the fermented kind, and even some historical bits about how it's been used over the centuries.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, even way back then, people understood that cod liver oil had some pretty powerful benefits.
It really makes you wonder, like, what did they know that we're just now starting to rediscover?
Right, like the Vikings.
Exactly. They were using cod liver oil to thrive in those harsh Scandinavian winters. I mean, can you imagine?
And they didn't even have all the fancy scientific equipment we have today to tell them exactly why it worked, but they knew it was essential for their health.
Absolutely. Speaks volumes about the power of traditional knowledge, doesn't it? And speaking of rediscovering those old ways, one of the sources you sent mentioned Green Pasture. They're actually trying to recreate that ancient cod liver oil formula, the one that's been used by so many cultures throughout history.
Oh yeah, Green Pasture. They're doing some really interesting work. They noticed that the way we produce cod liver oil today might be stripping away some of the key elements that made it so beneficial in the past.
That makes sense. Like, maybe we've gotten a little too focused on efficiency and lost sight of what nature already perfected.
Possibly. That's why they're all about fermentation, going back to that traditional method that preserves the natural nutrients in the oil.
Okay, so before we go full-on fermentation geek out session,
Yeah.
I think we need to take a step back. Like, to really grasp how cod liver oil impacts our eyes, we got to understand how our eyes even work in the first place, right?
Absolutely. It's all connected.
And a few of the sources you sent describe the eye as, like, unbelievably complex machine with all these different parts working together seamlessly.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Like, every single part has this critical role to play.
Okay, so break it down for me. How does this amazing machine actually work?
All right, so picture this. Your eye is constantly working to capture light and then transform that light into the images you see.
Okay, so far so good.
So first you have the cornea right at the front.
Right, the cornea is like the outermost layer of the eye.
Exactly. It acts like a shield, protecting the eye, and also helps to focus the light as it enters.
Okay, makes sense. What happens next?
So then you have the pupil. That's that black circle in the center of your eye.
The pupil is like the gateway for light to enter the eye.
Right. And it's super cool because it can actually adjust how much light gets in. It's like the aperture on a camera,
Oh.
widening in dim lighting to let more light in and constricting in bright light to protect the eye.
Oh, that's a great analogy. I never thought about it like that before.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And after the pupil, the light hits the lens.
The lens, I know that one. That's
Yeah.
what lets us focus on things at different distances, right?
Exactly. The lens can change shape. It can get thicker or thinner to focus the light precisely onto the retina.
The retina, remind me, what's that again?
The retina is like the back wall of your eye, and it's where the real magic happens. It's covered in these special cells called photoreceptors.
Photoreceptors, I've heard that term before. They're the ones that actually convert the light into signals the brain can understand, right?
Spot on. Those photoreceptors transform the light into electrical impulses, and then those impulses travel along the optic nerve to the brain.
Wow, so it's like a relay race for information from the eye to the brain.
Exactly. And if any part of this intricate system isn't working perfectly, your vision suffers.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if one of the runners in that relay race stumbles, the whole team slows down.
Precisely. And one of the articles you sent used a really great analogy. It's like oiling the machine.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. It was saying that just like a machine needs the right kind of lubrication to function smoothly, our eyes need specific nutrients to perform at their best.
Exactly. It's all about providing those vital nutrients to keep the whole system running smoothly.
And that's where cod liver oil comes in, right? It's like the ultimate eye lubricant.
You got it. Especially the fermented kind that Green Pasture makes. It's naturally packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. These are all super important for supporting eye health.
Okay, so hold on. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of those nutrients, can we talk a little bit more about fermentation? I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical about all the hype surrounding fermented cod liver oil.
I get it. There's a lot of marketing jargon out there for sure. But the science behind fermentation is pretty compelling.
Okay, I'm listening. Convince me.
Think of it like this. You want your cod liver oil to be as close to its natural state as possible, right?
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
But some manufacturers, They use methods that actually strip away some of the natural nutrients and then add them back in synthetically.
Really? Why would they do that?
It's usually about efficiency and cost, trying to streamline the process, but it's kind of like taking apart a perfectly good engine and then trying to rebuild it with plastic parts.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a recipe for success.
Right. But fermentation, on the other hand, it's like this gentle, natural process that preserves those delicate nutrients. And it even enhances their bioavailability, meaning your body can absorb and use them more effectively.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about what's in the cod liver oil, but also about how it's processed.
Precisely. Fermentation is like unlocking the full potential of those nutrients.
I like that. Unlocking the potential. Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of these key nutrients that are so crucial for eye health. Where should we start?
Let's start with vitamin D. Most people associate it with bone health, but it's turning out to be pretty important for our eyes too.
Really? Vitamin D? I thought that was all about getting enough sunshine.
Well, sunshine is definitely a major source of vitamin D, but it's doing more than just helping our bones. What's fascinating is that scientists have discovered that our eyes actually have cells that can make vitamin D, just like our skin.
Whoa, seriously. Our eyes can make their own vitamin D.
Yeah, and studies are starting to link vitamin D to some pretty cool potential benefits for our eyes.
Like what?
Well, one area that researchers are looking into is myopia, which is nearsightedness. There's some promising evidence that vitamin D could help prevent or slow down its development.
Hold on. You're telling me that getting enough vitamin D could potentially help with nearsightedness.
It's an area of active research, so more studies are needed, but the findings so far are definitely encouraging.
That would be huge, especially with kids spending so much time indoors these days.
Exactly, and it doesn't stop there. There's also growing evidence that vitamin D might play a role in protecting against macular degeneration.
Ah, macular degeneration. That's a serious one, right? Isn't that a leading cause of vision loss, especially as we get older?
You're right, it is a big one. It affects the central part of the retina, the macula, which is responsible for our sharp, detailed vision.
The part that lets us see faces clearly, read, and all that.
Exactly. And while the research is still ongoing, early findings suggest that vitamin D might help slow down the progression of the disease.
So vitamin D is like this multitasking marvel for our eyes, potentially helping with nearsightedness and macular degeneration.
It seems that way. And here's another interesting one. Researchers are also looking into the role of vitamin D in protecting against dry eye.
Oh, dry eye. That's one I know all too well. It feels like everyone's struggling with that these days, what with all the screen time.
Right. And it makes sense that vitamin D could be involved. It seems that it might help strengthen the cornea, which is that clear front part of the eye.
So a stronger cornea is less likely to get dry and irritated.
That's the idea. So getting enough vitamin D could potentially offer a natural way to alleviate those dry, itchy eye symptoms.
Okay, I'm officially impressed. I had no idea vitamin D was so crucial for eye health. But what about vitamin A? I know that one's good for vision too. But how does it actually work?
So vitamin A, also known as retinol, is a real MVP when it comes to vision. In fact, the name retinol comes from retina. It's a key player in how those light-detecting cells in your retina, those photoreceptors, actually convert light into signals that your brain can understand.
Wait, so without enough vitamin A, those cells can't do their job properly?
Exactly. That's why vitamin A deficiency is often linked to night blindness. It's like your eyes don't have enough fuel to work effectively in low light.
That makes sense. It's like trying to drive a car with an empty tank.
Perfect analogy. But vitamin A does more than just help us see in the dark. It also helps keep the cornea moist and healthy. And remember, a dry cornea can lead to all sorts of problems.
Right, like blurry vision, discomfort, and even infections.
Exactly. So vitamin A is like this multitasking superhero, helping us see clearly and keeping our eyes comfortable at the same time.
Impressive. Okay, before we get too carried away with our vitamin love fest, what about omega-3 fatty acids?
Ah, omega-3s. Those are another essential piece of the eye health puzzle. You've probably heard about them in relation to heart health.
Oh yeah, omega-3s are the good fats we're supposed to be eating more of.
Yep.
Fish oil, flax seeds, all that good stuff.
Exactly. But they're also incredibly important for our eyes. Research actually suggests that omega-3s act as powerful protectors for various parts of the eye.
Oh, interesting. Like what parts specifically?
Well, the retina, for starters. They help to support the cell membranes of those crucial photoreceptor cells we talked about earlier.
Right, the ones that actually allow us to see.
Exactly. And they also help to boost the eye's natural defenses, like its immune system. So it's like they're strengthening the eye from the inside out.
That's pretty cool. So it's not just about preventing damage, but also about strengthening the eye's own ability to protect itself.
Precisely. But here's something even more interesting. Some studies are suggesting that omega-3s might not just protect the eyes, but potentially even improve eye health.
Wait, really? Like actually improve vision?
That's what some animal studies are showing, yeah. There's some evidence that omega-3s could potentially improve visual acuity and even reverse some age-related vision loss.
Reverse vision loss. That's a bold claim.
It is, and we definitely need more research in humans to confirm these findings. But it's exciting stuff nonetheless.
Definitely exciting. Okay, so we've covered vitamins A and D and omega-3s. What about antioxidants? I know they're good for overall health, but how do they specifically benefit our eyes?
Great question. You see, our eyes are constantly bombarded by light and oxygen.
But yeah, that's kind of how we see.
Right. But this constant exposure can create something called oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on a car. It damages cells and can lead to eye problems like cataracts and macular degeneration.
Ah, so antioxidants are like rust-proofing for our eyes.
You got it. They help to neutralize those damaging molecules and protect those delicate eye tissues from harm. And guess what? Fermented cod liver oil is a fantastic source of antioxidants.
So it's like this one-stop shop for eye health.
Pretty much. And it's not just any antioxidants. Fermented cod liver oil is rich in vitamin E, those special collagen peptides we talked about earlier, and even some unique compounds called biogenic amines, which are also potent antioxidants.
Wow. It really does sound like fermented cod liver oil is a powerhouse for eye health. But before my brain explodes with all this info, maybe we should take a break.
Sounds good. We'll come back and explore even more about the science behind cod liver oil and how it might help with specific eye conditions. Stay tuned.
This podcast is sponsored by Fit Eyes, where awareness leads to better choices for those living with glaucoma and ocular hypertension. Fit Eyes is the most innovative eye pressure research and glaucoma support community in the world. Founded in 2006, Fit Eyes is regarded as the pioneer of home eye pressure monitoring and patient-driven research. When it comes to glaucoma, understanding your condition is the first step toward better eye health. With a wealth of resources, including expert articles and self-monitoring tools, our vibrant community connects individuals from around the world, sharing insights, experiences, and support. Together, we empower each other to take control of our eye health. Join us in our mission to raise awareness and educate those affected by glaucoma. Visit fiteyes.com today to connect with our community and access valuable resources.
Okay, so speaking of supporting eye health, let's get back to our main topic. Cod liver oil and eye health.
Sounds good. Where do you want to start?
Well, you mentioned some research studies earlier that really caught my attention. I'd love to hear more about those. Like get into the nitty-gritty of what the scientists are actually finding.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's this one study that really stood out to me. It used a method called the thermo-oxidation resistivity assay.
The thermo what now?
It's a mouthful, right? They call it 2-ARA for short. Basically, it's like a stress test for cod liver oil.
Stress test. What do you mean?
So they basically heat up different types of cod liver oil to really high temperatures, and then they analyze how they hold up. It's a way to see how well the oil can resist damage from heat and oxygen.
Oh, interesting. So they're trying to mimic what happens to cod liver oil when it's exposed to the elements, like,
Yeah.
Sitting on a shelf or being exposed to air.
Exactly. It's like simulating real-world conditions to see which oils can really take the heat.
Okay, I'm following so far. So what did they find?
Well, the results were pretty fascinating. Remember all those antioxidants we talked about in fermented cod liver oil?
Yeah, those little defenders that protect our cells from damage.
Right. Well, they really proved their worth in this study. The fermented cod liver oil was significantly better at resisting damage from the heat compared to other types of cod liver oil.
So it's like those antioxidants were acting as tiny little bodyguards, shielding the oil from harm.
That's a great way to put it. And the researchers actually believe that the abundance of antioxidants in fermented cod liver oil, particularly those special collagen peptides, played a key role in the oil's resilience.
So those collagen peptides are like extra powerful antioxidants.
You could say that they're like those super elite soldiers, the ones who are always on the front lines, ready to neutralize any threats.
That's a pretty cool image. I'm starting to see why fermentation might really make a difference in how effective cod liver oil is.
Absolutely. And there's another interesting finding from this study, too. They also looked at how the oils fared after being stored at different temperatures for a while, kind of like how we might store a bottle of cod liver oil in our pantry or fridge.
Oh, right, like long-term storage.
Exactly. And guess what? The fermented cod liver oil showed superior stability again. It had way less oxidation, even after 42 days.
So it's not only tougher in the face of heat, but it also stays fresher for longer.
Exactly. And it all comes back to those awesome antioxidants working hard to protect the oil from breaking down over time.
I've always been a little skeptical about supplements, but this is making me rethink my stance, especially when it comes to something as important as eye health.
I understand your skepticism. There's a lot of hype out there in the supplement world. But when you have solid scientific evidence like this, it's hard to ignore.
Totally. It's not just about preventing eye problems. It's about giving our eyes the nutritional support they need to function at their best, throughout our lives.
Absolutely. And speaking of eye function, I think it's time we connect the dots between all these cool nutrients and how they actually work within the amazing machinery of our eyes. You ready for that?
Bring it on. I'm ready to go beyond just listing the benefits. I want to understand the how and why.
Okay. So let's start with vitamin A, also known as retinol.
Retinol, yeah, the one that's named after the retina.
Exactly. It's a key component of rhodopsin. And rhodopsin is a light-sensitive pigment found in those photoreceptor cells in the retina, the ones that actually capture light.
Oh, right, the photoreceptors, the cells that allow us to see.
Yep. And without enough vitamin A, those cells can't do their job properly.
Which means our vision takes a hit.
Exactly, especially in low-light conditions. That's why vitamin A deficiency is often linked to night blindness.
Ah, that makes sense. It's like having dimmer switches on your vision when the lights go down.
That's a perfect analogy. But vitamin A does so much more than just help us see in low light. It also plays a vital role in maintaining the health of the lens.
The lens. Oh, yeah, that's important. That's what helps us focus light onto the retina, right?
Precisely. And the lens needs to be crystal clear and flexible to do its job properly. And guess what helps to keep it that way?
Vitamin A.
You got it. Vitamin A helps to prevent the lens from becoming cloudy, which is a condition called cataracts.
Oh, cataracts. I know those can lead to blurry vision and even blindness if they're not treated.
Exactly. So vitamin A is crucial for preventing that cloudiness and keeping the lens clear. It also helps the lens stay flexible so it can easily adjust to different distances.
Wow, so vitamin A is like a multitasking superhero for our eyes.
You said it, but wait, there's more. It's also vital for the health of the cornea, that transparent outer layer at the front of the eye.
Oh, right, the cornea. It acts like a shield, protecting the eye, and it also helps to focus light.
Right, and the cornea needs to be smooth and moist to function properly. And guess who steps in to help with that?
Let me guess. Vitamin A.
You got it again. Vitamin A is essential for keeping the cornea healthy and lubricated, protecting it from damage.
Okay, I'm officially convinced that vitamin A deserves a standing ovation for its role in eye health.
It truly does. It's like the MVP of the eye care team. But let's not forget about our other star players, like those omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA.
Right, the good fats.
They're not just heart heroes, They also play a crucial role in supporting the cornea's health.
Really? How do they do that?
Well, you see, the cornea has this network of tiny blood vessels that supply it with oxygen and all the nutrients it needs to thrive.
Okay, I'm picturing it. So what do the omega-3s do?
Omega-3s help to keep those blood vessels healthy and functioning properly, making sure the cornea gets everything it needs to stay strong and clear.
So it's like omega-3s are the delivery trucks, bringing essential supplies to keep the cornea happy and healthy.
Love that analogy. And omega-3s don't stop there. They also have a super important job in the retina, specifically with those photoreceptor cells that are responsible for converting light into electrical signal.
Ah, right back to those crucial photoreceptor cells again.
Yep. Omega-3s are really important for maintaining the health and flexibility of those cells' membranes, helping them respond quickly and efficiently to light and send clear signals to the brain.
So it's like omega-3s are making sure that the communication lines between the eyes and the brain are crystal clear and functioning at their best.
Exactly. It's all about ensuring that the messages are getting through loud and clear. And let's not forget about those free radicals we talked about earlier, those little troublemakers that can cause damage.
Oh, right, the ones that lead to oxidative stress.
Yep, they can wreak havoc on our cells, including those in our eyes.
But antioxidants are like those awesome superheroes that swoop in to save the day, right?
They are. They neutralize those free radicals, protecting those delicate eye tissues from harm. And remember, fermented cod liver oil is loaded with antioxidants like vitamin E, those collagen peptides, and even some unique compounds called biogenic amines.
So it's like having an entire defense force protecting our eyes from the inside out.
That's a great way to think about it. And what's so cool about fermented cod liver oil is that it offers this multifaceted, synergistic approach to eye health. It's not just addressing one specific problem, it's supporting the entire visual system, from front to back.
This is seriously blowing my mind. I'm starting to understand why you get so excited about cod liver oil. It's like this whole hidden world of amazing things happening at a microscopic level.
I know, right? It's fascinating. But there's still more to uncover. Are you ready to explore how all of this relates to specific eye conditions?
Absolutely. I'm eager to hear how cod liver oil might help with some of the common eye problems people face. Okay, so how does all of this amazing science we've been talking about actually connect to real-world eye conditions? Like, what can cod liver oil really do for us?
That's the big question, right? Well, let's start with something we touched on earlier, macular degeneration.
Macular degeneration, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that affects the central part of the retina, the macula.
Exactly. And as we get older, it's super important to protect that macula. You know, it's what lets us see faces clearly, read, and all those things that require sharp, detailed vision.
Right, it's like the high-definition part of our vision.
Exactly. But unfortunately, macular degeneration is a leading cause of vision loss as we age.
So how can cod liver oil help with that?
Well, remember those omega-3 fatty acids we've been talking about? Especially DHA and EPA, they're actually key components of the macula's cell membranes.
So it's like those omega-3s are helping to build and strengthen the very foundation of the macula.
Exactly. And research suggests that getting enough DHA and EPA in our diet can help protect the macula from damage. It might even slow down the progression of macular degeneration.
That's amazing. So it's like reinforcing the walls of a fortress to make it stronger against attacks.
I like that analogy. And we can't forget about the role of antioxidants here either. Remember, oxidative stress can really damage the macula.
Yeah, those free radicals can cause a lot of trouble.
They sure can. They can trigger inflammation and cell damage, making macular degeneration worse.
So it's like those free radicals are these tiny little saboteurs trying to weaken the macula's defenses.
Exactly. But luckily, fermented cod liver oil is full of antioxidants that can neutralize those troublemakers. It's like having a team of firefighters on standby, ready to put out any fires before they can spread.
That's reassuring. So it sounds like cod liver oil is offering a two-pronged defense, strengthening the macula with omega-3s, and then fighting off those free radicals with antioxidants.
Exactly. It's a pretty amazing combo.
It really is. Okay, this is all so fascinating, but I want to shift gears for a second.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about another super common eye problem that I know a lot of people struggle with: dry eye.
Oh, dry eye. Yeah, that's a big one these days, especially with all the screen time we're all exposed to.
Right. My eyes are definitely feeling it after a long day of staring at a computer.
I hear you. So how can cod liver oil help with dry eye? Well, think back to what we were discussing about vitamin A.
Oh, right. Vitamin A is crucial for keeping the cornea healthy and moist.
Exactly. And omega-3s also contribute to tear production and stability. They help make sure those tears are doing their job effectively, keeping our eyes lubricated and comfortable.
So it's like a double whammy of lubrication. What about antioxidants? Do they play a role in dry eye too?
You bet. Remember, oxidative stress can actually make dry eye symptoms even worse.
Ah, right. Because inflammation can irritate the eyes even more.
Exactly. So the antioxidants in fermented cod liver oil can help to soothe that inflammation and protect those delicate eye tissues from further damage.
Wow. It really seems like fermented cod liver oil is this incredible all-in-one package for supporting our eye health. It's addressing so many different aspects, from the cornea to the retina and everything in between.
I know, right? And while more research is always a good thing, the evidence we have so far definitely suggests that fermented cod liver oil could be a really valuable addition to anyone's eye care routine.
I'm totally with you on that. This deep dive has been so eye-opening, pun intended. I feel like I have this whole new appreciation for cod liver oil and what it can do for our vision. It's not just about preventing problems, but about supporting our eye health for the long haul.
That's exactly it. And remember, this is just the beginning of the journey. There's always more to learn about the fascinating world of eye health.
Absolutely. And to all our listeners out there, keep asking those questions, keep learning, and take those steps to protect your precious eyesight.
And hey, maybe consider adding a little fermented cod liver oil to your routine. It could be your secret weapon for healthy eyes for years to come.
Great advice. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the world of cod liver oil and eye health. Until next time, stay curious and keep those eyes healthy.